Well, today I've taken the backhoe and the dump truck show on the road, but fortunately for me, I get to play with it right here at my place of employment, G&K Concepts. Normally at my day job, I consult with farmer clients and I help them to improve their fertility and their crops to hopefully boost their yields and their overall bottom line. But our office is also the home of a working small family farm. And just like any other business, if you want to improve your family farm and look to the future, you need to find ways to expand your operation and maximize your overall efficiency. That doesn't always mean just getting to buy a new tractor or combine. No, this project here is more of a behind-the-scenes infrastructure improvement. And just like any other infrastructure improvement, they start with the dirt work. One of the challenges for this job that I've never got to do before is I need to try to dig a trench in a circle with a backhoe. So that should be pretty fun, but hopefully by the end of this video, we'll have all of the footings and the concrete and the conduit in place for the big upgrades that are coming for this small farm. All right, I probably need to get over there to the silo and the grain bins and get started.
Dig, drive, DIY.
All right, so we're here with Greg, and this is his project we're working on. Tell us what exactly you're trying to do here.
Well, we're building a pad for a 7,000 bushel wet holding bin.
All right, this giant pile of metal on the ground is the wet holding bin.
That feeds into a dryer that's on another pad that direction, which will come out of the dryer and blow to each bin that's standing around us.
This big thing here is the grain dryer. This is a giant propane heater on the end. But what goes in the bins? What do you mean?
Corn. So we're set up to move and dry corn. That's our plan.
When farmers harvest their crops, there are generally two options for what they can do with the grain that they produce. The first option is to take it to a local grain elevator where they can either sell it right off the truck for the current market price, or they can choose to pay the elevator to store it for an undetermined amount of time. This will obviously cost them a little more from the price that they're going to achieve, even if they do sell at a better price. The second option is they can build a grain storage facility of their own at their farm. This allows them to have better control of their commodity and hopefully market it over time for a better price than what they could have got just selling it out of the field. The money they save on storage can go towards the investment costs of the grain bins and the storage equipment. But on-the-farm storage doesn't come without some challenges. You need to properly dry the grain so that it will store for long periods of time without spoiling, and you need to have a way to handle the grain efficiently so that you can continue harvesting as you're also drying and handling the grain at your own facility. Greg will be installing a new-to-him wet holding bin and a grain dryer. The wet holding bin holds the freshly harvested grain before it is fed into the dryer. The grain dryer then will send the dried grain to the large storage bins where it'll be stored until it can be marketed to be sold. Okay, we're gonna mark out some backup stakes here. That way we can dig this out and then have a place to remark later. Luke and Nick are getting everything all cleaned up and out of here. I brought the laser, I brought the edger, the backhoe, and the dump truck, of course. Gotta move that generator too. I want you to stay on the post and then we're gonna make the tape measure intersect both flags in a straight line. We're here to strip grass in preparation for concrete. What we've done already is the contractor came and marked out where the dryer is going to be and the wet holding bin with orange paint. We went around and made some backup stakes so that we can tear all that out and be able to reestablish it once we're done. And then we measured 2 foot off of where the orange paint marks are and put a green paint mark, and that's where we're going to cut the grass back so that basically as concrete's going to be poured on the orange line, and then we'll have decorative landscaping stone out to the green line. And then once we get all the grass stripped, then we'll reestablish our marks to dig footers for the wet holding bin and a little bit of a footer under the dryer.
That way it looks primo.
Greg's starting to cut this all out already with the skid loader. Got a big load of grass right there. That is some super clay. So they'll be able to pour right on top of that. So in order to minimize the amount of work we'll have to do after this concrete is all poured, we're gonna cut a nice line out of the turf and establish the edge for where the rocks are gonna be around the outside. So it takes a little bit of time now, but it saves a lot of time later. And I really like doing this with an edger because that'll make that dirt come out of there nice and straight. And then once the concrete's poured, we'll be ready for landscaping rock. There goes our first load of sod. Hey, Luke, just kind of help me keep the dirt in there. Okay, I'm gonna get this last little bit peeled out. That's got a nice radius around this now. We'll keep that grass there, and these stones will continue right on around and be 2 foot outside the concrete. So that'll be really nice. Like I said, this takes extra time to do. It seems like it's overkill, but it'll be so nice when we're all done. Well, we've got all of our sod cut out, and now we're starting to remark the dimensions for the dryer and the holding bin. We're gonna dig out this footer, 18 inches total. I gotta overcut that line because we got it marked wrong. So that's all the deeper we need to be. So I'm already too deep. Too deep? Yep. So we can square that up, get the loose dirt out of it. It's overcut. We'll just try to keep me on grade from now on. Just finishing up. All right, with a little handwork on those footers, we were able to get the rectangular shape cut out for the grain bin dryer. We have all the sod stripped out for the entire site. That was Friday afternoon. Here we are Monday morning, and it's time to keep going. We got to make some trenches for conduit runs, and then we've got to dig out the footer for the wet holding bin, which is a circle. So he's the only one wearing the right shirt for this gig today. We should have dug this out before we put the stone down, but we thought we were going to pour on Saturday and we got rushed. Okay, we're getting dug out for those conduits that are going to feed the electric and the gas for the dryer. We are putting in a little bit of rebar to hold the pipes in place. So before anyone asks, why did we put the stone in there first? Because we made a mistake. We should have put the stone in after, but it's hard to get over the trench with the skid loader. We just weren't thinking. Sometimes when you're doing a DIY project, you make mistakes. Believe it or not. Greg changed over into vacation mode. He's got his shorts on.
Hot.
We need to mark out this bin circle.
It's killing me, Smalls.
So we've got our rectangle all done and the plumbing for the conduit all finished up in our rectangle for the grain dryer. Now we got to work on digging a circle. That's going to be a little bit challenging, but we'll just stay at it. Circle time. So there's conduit ran to the back of the dryer. There's conduit ran to that fan on the back of the silo. Blower, or the air handler, this is for the air handler that's behind and underneath the bin. So now I'm gonna rip out a few pieces of concrete over here. We're back, it's day 3 already. So we've got most of the pulling wrapped up. All the digging is done. They're supposed to come today to start forming, which will be interesting. I want to see them form that circle. But we got to backfill the pipes with some stone chips, kind of get everything leveled up for them so they can get the mixer in here real nice and easily. And then we can sit back and watch them work a little bit. We might get in there too though. So this is for erosion control. Time to bed these pipes in a little stone. And we want to try to get it worked up underneath them too. Now if you kind of wiggle the pipes, kind of wiggle them, he's going to kind of turn and come in there that way. Try to go underneath first. Yeah, like put a scoop underneath first. See if I can get a little stone in the island here. Here's what's left of the stone we haven't used yet. Well, we are officially ready for the concrete guys to get here and start forming this up. We have more stone chips to add in here where this is all going to be concrete. It was a different kind of thing to have to dig a circle footer. I think it looks good. All right, I'll bring it back here when we're pouring some concrete. That ought to be cool too. I wondered what you're doing with the bricks. Now I see. You're going to hold up the rebar with the bricks, huh?
You filming right now?
Yeah.
Oh man. Ahorita que esté levantado. Okay.
We're back here on a Thursday morning and it's concrete day. The crew, who you might remember, George and the Iker crew, they're all here getting ready to form up our rectangle for the dryer and our circle for the wet holding bin. I'm going to help where I can and try to stay out of their way. We ran out of those boards. I just went and got 6 more. Those are poly boards. They're like made out of PVC. Pretty expensive, 200 bucks. Now we got to adjust the height of those tubes. They're going to put a little bit of a crown in it too, so we got a little bit of an advantage for height.
You can make pressure to use that, but no, I don't want to break nothing. Yeah.
Okay, concrete truck just showed up. We're going to get this poured in no time. We're just getting ready to pour these slabs. It ought to go pretty quick, but he's got to turn and get more concrete. They're here with load number 2. Now they're going to cap this one off. Down in there?
Well,
both slabs are poured and down. They got to finish them up doing a light broom finish. Tomorrow they're going to come and fill in all the area in between all the slabs. So we'll stick around to see how that looks next.
and it turned out fantastic. I'm actually quite happy, even though stuff like this makes me on pins and needles because I like it primo. But George and the gang did a great job.
Tell George what you think down below. So we are back here first thing Friday morning. All this is all set up. They've already got the forms all stripped. They've got new forms put up to pour the concrete that's in between these 2 pads. It'll be interesting when we get done, you'll be able to see the drainage and how they make this slope away, because these 2 pads have to be level. They've got a little bit of a crown to them so that water doesn't lay on them, but they needed to be level, but we got a lot of water to deal with around the outside of it. So that's what we're gonna do with this slab here. He's got a rebar set for grade there. He's got a string line, a chalk line rather, on the side of that slab, and that helps them to maintain grade. So you can see we're kind of going from level with the top of the concrete there, and it's sloping away. And that's gonna let all this water that collects up in here and falls, it's all gonna run this way. So even though this slab's level, we gotta let this stuff out here all move. Cordless tie gun. Makes life pretty easy. There's our conduit. Turned out pretty good. Just chip that away and cut the tape out. We'll be able to stub into those. There you have it. That was 9 yards that we figured that we'd need, and we came up about a yard short. So they're gonna have to go back and get 1 more yard to finish it off, but fortunately we are close to the batch plant where they gotta go. It's just about 5-6 miles away in the little town of Harlan, so there's the last bit. They just got it poured in there. Jonas is up there cleaning up. We'll cure quick in this sun and heat. So don't let it hit the concrete.
Is it off?
Go.
Straight, go straight.
Now you're gonna have to turn in hours to Jonas.
Quita el aire con la mano así.
All right, the concrete is all cured, and man, it looks good. It really lightened up once it cured, and it drains really nicely too. All the water, we've had just a few little rains, and all the water's gotten off of here really nice. Well, we've got the footings and the concrete and the conduit all in place. Now we can start thinking about having that bin built, and we can get that dryer moved into this pad. So that's where we wanted to be. Next thing I gotta do is get some river rock to put around here and dress up this landscaping. But let me know down below if you'd like to see how this project progresses. There's a lot more to do, a lot of electrical infrastructure improvements. And then of course, they're gonna erect this wet holding bin there. That should be pretty interesting. But I wanna thank you so much for clicking on this video. Hope you liked it, maybe learned something, who knows. If I'm lucky, I'll see you in the next one. Off to the gravel pit. On camera. And there's another thumbnail for you.